All right. We got Elon Musk talking about Bitcoin. We have Tom Lee bullish on Bitcoin end of year. We have President Trump quite literally rejecting a bear market. He said, I believe I quote, okay, let me see if I can find this. This actually is crazy. He said he will keep the stock market at all-time highs. We got a bunch of crazy stuff. The line drawers are basically at odds with everyone who believes that 2026 is going to be a grind up because of all the money printing. And we're at a very contentious time to be alive. And so, look, if you're excited to get into the stream, I'm just going to run through the top stories really fast. The goal is not to take your time. The goal is to give you back your time and just kind of inform you going into the week. We also have a space starting on Ostium, the Trader Talk, at 6 p.m. Eastern. So that'll be happening at the top of the next hour. See Bits of Wealth is in the house. What's going on, Bits? Good to see you, brother. But yeah, Bitcoin currently sitting at $91,300. This is our lovely partners over at Ostium. If you guys want to start trading, they're an excellent platform for sure. But yeah, we got Bitcoin sitting at 91. Let me see what their cryptos here. We have I'm really only interested in a couple of these, honestly. I haven't even looked at the price of ETH. I'm scared too. Oh, just above 3,000. Not bad. Solana at $137. Hype at $33. XRP $2.19. So not too shabby. I'm not like upset about it. I'll take it. That's currently where we're sitting. Yeah, let's roll through these. We have Kalshi here saying Trump literally said we will keep the stock market at all-time highs. I mean, what is even going on? This is bizarre behavior, dude. I mean, we've seen it all, but to have him come out and say that is pretty insane. What's going on, Eva? It's good to see you. Yeah, wild stuff here. We have this. I thought was interesting because this just happened. This was Black Friday. Hit a record of $11.8 billion, dude, of spending, up 9.1% from last year. So somehow every single year we spend more. We find a way to spend more. I have a high degree of certainty. It has to do with just the amount of credit cards people have and the ability to get a credit card. It has never been easier. And so, yeah, people just keep buying things. Really interesting. Here's a pretty wild clip I saw from Scott Bessent, and he basically said that Trump has something up his sleeve before end of year. So hopefully you guys can hear this. Let me know if you can't in the comments or the chat, and that'd be fantastic. But I believe you should be able to hear this.
Andrew, I'm still got one interview left, so I don't think it would be prudent to give any hints. And I think that there's a very, very good chance that the president will make an announcement before Christmas, but it's his prerogative whether it's before the Christmas holidays in the New Year's. But things are moving along very well. Andrew, I'm still got one.
Pretty wild. So we have Scott Bessent, Treasury Scott Bessent, saying these things. Pretty wild. Okay, thanks, Bessent. I appreciate it, man. Good thing you guys could hear. So yeah, we have Scott Bessent saying there's something coming. We saw CME futures, this is a couple of days ago, but we saw CME futures and options market completely down for literally half a day due to cooling issues at their data centers, is what their official sort of answer was to the Twitter world. Half the people were saying that is BS. Half the people said, wow, this is crazy. Either way, I think people it's becoming more and more aware that the futures market is really the only thing. I mean, you guys even saw on Ostium when I was looking at the price, that was the futures chart. Like people aren't even looking at spot anymore. People are looking at prediction markets. They're looking at the futures. They're looking for what you can turn a dollar and multiply that faster. I mean, that's just our world, and I think our generation is going to keep doing that as well. So I imagine it's going to keep happening. But they really got to sort this thing out. I mean, the game hasn't even started yet, and we're already having problems like that. I was like, oh boy, here we go. So, anyways, by the way, I do want to shout out our sponsors over at Argentum for the show. If you guys are interested in making passive income. I linked I put the link right below the stream if you're watching this, but Argentum built a pretty cool marketplace that turns your idle GPUs into passive income. And yeah, if you just have literally if you have sitting devices, laptops, whatever it is, it gives that builders who need that compute on demand. It is that bridge essentially, right? And so that's what this marketplace is. So if you're a GPU owner, it's simple. Your unused hardware becomes your new revenue stream. For AI builders, you now have instant access to that power without having to worry about gatekeepers or waiting lists or anything like that. Argentum AI is an awesome platform. They got a really cool marketplace that's bridging these two worlds together. And so, yeah, the link is pinned at the very bottom, right below the stream. And I mean, you guys saw a second ago when I brought up the call sheet thing about Trump saying this market's not going to fail. I will not allow the stock market to fall is what he basically said. And you're like, okay, NVIDIA is basically holding up the entire economy at this point. And then we saw Warren Buffett invest $4 billion. So AI is not really stopping anytime soon. And so it's better to hop in now, I think, than later. So anyways, yeah, big shout out to Argentum for sponsoring the show. Another clip I want to pull up here. Hopefully you guys can hear this one as well. This is Tom Lee talking about end of year. He believes we still have all-time high possibility. So let's see what he said.
The idea of what, Bitcoin 150, 150,000 you were thinking before?
Well, I think it's still very likely that Bitcoin's going to be above 100,000 before year end, and maybe even above one to a new high. So Bitcoin makes its moves in 10 days and every year. I think some of those best days are still going to happen before year end.
The idea of what, Bitcoin 150, 150,000.
So yeah, I mean, that is true. Like Bitcoin really does move in big moments, right? I'd seen a lot of discussion on X in regards to what type of price action we might see. And this past bull market obviously has been more of like a staircase model, just kind of up and slow to up and to the right, versus we normally see explosions in the price of Bitcoin. I think that's what a lot of people are sort of banking on end of year, that there's going to be one last explosion type of thing. I mean, it's possible, dude. I'm not going to rule it out. So look, it's one of those things that like until the time has passed, it's fun. It's easy to sort of poke and laugh. It's also, I don't know. In my head, I'm like, I don't know. I mean, Tom Lee, in 3 months, we could be laughing at him because he could be totally wrong, or he could just end up being right end of year, and we're all just like, well, we should have believed. We should have just bought and believed, and all the traders are going to be eating their words. I have no idea what's going to happen, but I do think it's interesting. I mean, he's doubling, tripling, and quadrupling down at this point. I mean, he has not really budged from that thesis. So respect, I guess, for continuing. Obviously, he's got a lot on the line with BMNU, BMNR, everything going on with all the Ethereum they're collecting. So anyways, we will see, Mr. Tom Lee. We will definitely see. This I saw yesterday. So essentially, they're going to choose like a few, 100 or 200 people. New Yorkers are going to be receiving 12 grand in USDC in Coinbase funded directly to try out this universal base income. Look, in my head, that is a recipe for what is coming. And we're already seeing a CBDC being rolled out in Europe. It's only a matter of time before it comes to the US. I think they're testing this out. And yeah, this is a pilot program essentially to give them a bunch of money, low income New Yorkers age 18 to 30 in areas like the Bronx. And they're redistributing this into $8,000 lump sum plus 800 monthly payments via Coinbase wallets. They literally said that's it. That's all we're going to do. And we will see what you do with that money. Dude, I think Andrew Tate said it, like you got 10 years before everything takes over. You can't make any money. I don't know if that's true, but I'm gonna approach life that's true, because you get into a world where you're dependent on this kind of thing. You give a lot of leverage to the wrong people, in my opinion. So we'll see. I mean, if this ends up being a success, I don't even know what to think about that. If they end up having crazy success, which you could totally see them spinning and then throwing numbers that may or may not make sense to back that up. I don't know. You're speaking of big companies coming in with BlackRock, their number one revenue source being the Bitcoin ETFs. IBIT, their estimated $245 million in annual fees fueled by nearly $100 billion in assets under management across their Bitcoin ETFs. Their second, number two revenue source is their iShares, which is their iShares core. The S&P 500 ETF is behind the Bitcoin one. Pretty crazy. Obviously, they're also making money on fees. They will win. This is how it always goes, I think. Like the people who are winning, the people on top, always just end up being able to retain that position. They find ways to create new instruments, whatever it is, to stay in the game and winning the game. But I thought that was rather interesting to see them, their number one revenue source being Bitcoin ETFs. A lot of people were not happy to see that. Speaking of things people were excited to see, was that, after complaining about that for a couple of days, then we see the spot ETFs buying back $70 million in Bitcoin last week, the first week of net buying since October. So we saw a lot of red, a lot of outflows coming in for a while now, and people were like, not good. And now we're seeing a little bit of buying back. Bit says the XRP maxis were right. Oh, Lord. Let's go to this next story here. We have Kazakhstan National Bank to buy up to $300 million in Bitcoin and crypto. We'll see what that means. I'm really interested to see how these big corporations, the sovereigns, the countries, how they end up acquiring Bitcoin, whether it's going to be through seizing, like the United States, and just kind of holding on to that. If they're going to end up just buying open markets, is it going to be, buying over the counter like we're seeing a lot of companies do? We don't even know how our own people are doing it. Like we have no idea how Saylor's buying all this Bitcoin. Speaking of Saylor, that was actually the next thing I was going to jump into. If you look at this, he said, he posted his, the classic Michael Saylor Sunday, orange dot buying Bitcoin type of thing. And he said, what if we start adding green dots? And people were speculating what that meant. I saw, I forget who I forget who it was, but someone said, what if he starts acquiring Bitcoin treasury companies? I was like, man, dude, I have no idea what's going to happen here. I don't know, dude. If we don't have a slow grind up for Bitcoin into 2026 with all this money printing, I don't know about you guys. Let me know what you guys think about the price of Bitcoin. I'm in total odds here. I do not know what to expect. One person I was surprised to see speaking on Bitcoin was Elon Musk. Actually, he's spoken about Bitcoin. It's not like he's never talked about Bitcoin before, but this video is interesting because he does get Bitcoin. He really does. There are multiple people here who do understand Bitcoin actually, and I don't know. This is an interesting clip. So let me know what you guys think about this. Hopefully, you can hear. Man, I don't know. That was kind of crazy. I mean, I think that demonstrated a pretty sound argument for Bitcoin. And he's not the first person to kind of give that thesis around Bitcoin. But man, to see that from Elon Musk, shoot, there was no sound. Okay, I did see that a second ago. Let me see if I can reshare. I think that's a clip worth looking at. So hopefully you guys can hear. Let me play this again.
Currency. There's still some fundamental currencies, if you will, that are physics based. So energy is the true currency. This is why I said Bitcoin is based on energy. You can't legislate energy. You can't just pass a law and suddenly have a lot of energy. It's very difficult to generate energy, or especially to harness energy in a useful way to do useful work. So I think that probably we won't have money, and probably we'll just have energy, power generation as the de facto currency. There's still.
Okay, hopefully you heard that one. Let me know if you didn't. I guess that would be kind of painful if you didn't. But yeah, I think that demonstrates a pretty sound understanding of Bitcoin. And like I said, he's not the first person to explain it in that way in terms of energy. And that's like a big contentious point around the value of Bitcoin. We saw Peter Schiff always talking about it's fake money, it's fake, it's a fake asset. But there's not many assets you can say are backed by energy, backed by real proof of work, real miners, like backed by energy. Right? It's like a probably a foreign concept unless you're in our world of Bitcoin. But Elon does get it, dude. And I would like to see what type of financial backing he sort of follows up with that kind of thing. If he does believe that, it wouldn't make sense not to accumulate Bitcoin unless he believes they can get it in at a lower price, in which case maybe he's been watching our trading stream or something like that. Been listening too much to Bits of Wealth. But yeah, man, I thought that was really interesting. Like I said, just wanted to roll through some of the top stories I saw the last few days. We obviously had Thanksgiving and Black Friday and Cyber Week, basically. I feel like it's not even Cyber Monday anymore. It's just there's just sales happening all day long, 24/7 now. It's just the world we're in, a consumer-focused world. And so, yeah, hopefully people were able to not spend all their money on random stuff and food and toys and stuff. Hopefully able to invest money as well. But I thought it was a couple days to have off, which is kind of nice. And I'm looking forward to the space in 30 minutes here with Austin and a lot of the traders. Also, want to give a big shout out to Argentum for sponsoring today's show. If you guys are looking to make some easier passive income, Argentum built a pretty cool marketplace that turns those idle GPUs into passive income here. They're a nice little marketplace if you have that sitting machines just chilling doing nothing, or if you're a builder and you need some you need access to power, you need some compute. You don't have to worry about waiting lists. You don't have to worry about gatekeepers or anything like that. Argentum is looking to bridge those two worlds together and build that marketplace. And like I said earlier, NVIDIA, Google, like these big AI companies are probably going to gobble up most of the attention and investing, in my opinion. I mean, the billions and billions of dollars that are coming in are probably, most of them are going to be funneled into AI. So for me, I want to focus more on AI, not less. I want to learn the fundamentals. I want to learn the basics. I want to see who the winners are. And so big shout out to Argentum for sponsoring the show. We ended up doing a AI space on Tuesdays at 12:30 Eastern. That they also geez, there's this bug around me. That Clark from Argentum comes through. He's a giga brain, and it was nice to have some AI conversations. We also have them hosted on Argentum AI on Thursdays at 1 p.m. Eastern. So the link for this marketplace is down below the stream. Click that link. Let us know what you guys think. If you guys want to start making some passive income, it's a pretty cool resource. So big shout out to them for sponsoring the show. And yeah, man, we'll see what happens. Like I said, we have a stream starting, or a space starting in just a few minutes with the traders. Hope you all have an amazing rest of your day. Big shout out to Ostium for the charts in the beginning of the stream. And we'll see you guys all in the next one. Take care, everybody.